Hi, hello, welcome back, Wicked Spices, to another video. As you can see by today's title, we are doing my August/September wrap up. I'm combining the two strictly for the fact that I didn't read a lot of books in either month. I'm hoping October we will get. I'm hoping in October we get to read a lot of books. We make time for reading, a lot more time for reading, and we don't procrastinate reading, because I did do a bit of that kind of towards the end of September, but it's fine, it's okay. So with that being said, let's just hop into the 13 books. Okay, I read between between August and September. I know this does not look like 13 books. I did listen to some audiobooks, some physical books. You know how we do, okay? So let's just hop straight into it because we have 13 books to talk about. But before we can do that, let's talk about the stats for each month, okay? I have written them down on my handy dandy iPad. Okay, so in August, this is not 13 books, this is 11 books. Excuse me. Anyways, in August, we read a total of 4 books, 2 romances and 2 fantasy books, which equated to 1,666 pages. And then that came out to an average rating of 4.43. Yeah, no, I was just loving what I read in the month of August, apparently. Considering every book was almost a reread, then yeah, that's understandable. And then for September, I read 7 books, which equated to 3 fantasy, 3 romances, because one of the books I really wouldn't consider a romance. I mean, you could. It fits to multiple categories. So we'll say 3 romances, 3 fantasy, and then 2 like mystery thriller books, because like I said, that one romance book kind of fits into both of these categories, so it's a little wonky, which equated to 2,808 pages with an average rating of 4.17, which is slightly lower than August, but I know what book kind of skewed that to be lower. Okay, we'll talk about it when we get there. Okay, there's no need to rush me, but let's just go ahead and get straight into all the books. So this isn't like a 45-minute video. The very first book that I finished in August was The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Like I said, I did a lot of rereading. I'm still kind of doing rereading even this month, but I digress. So we start with The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Now, if you know anything about me, this is a God tier series for me. I do not care how bad you think it is. You could say 10 million bad things about this book to me, and I would be like, okay, you have a valid opinion, but my opinion still stands, and this is a God tier series for me. I have never said about it. I literally, you already know how I feel about this. This is a 5-star read for me. I feel like I don't even need to explain it, okay? But in this book, you are following Jude. And so when she was 7, her parents were unalived, and she and her sisters were taken away to the fairy courts. And now 10 years later, Jude wants nothing more than to like fit in and belong with the fairy people. And so she is determined to try and win her place at court, even if that means receiving all the hate in the world from Prince Cardan, the most vile prince in this court. Okay? Yeah, no, I eat it up every single time. People say this is the epic enemies to lovers. They stay enemies until like book 3. So do with that what you will. Okay, 5 stars, phenomenal. We all know I love this. This gets nothing less than 5 stars. Okay, this is like my 3rd read through of this book, and I still love it, okay? The next book I have for you that I finished in August is Legendborn by Tracy Deonn, which is the first book in the Legendborn cycle by Tracy Deonn. There are currently 3 books out. I'm reading book 2 right now, so you'll probably see that in my October wrap-up. But Legendborn, we are following Bree. Her mother has recently died, And so to escape the small town that she was raised in, she ends up going to UNC Chapel Hill, its early college program. And on her first night at campus, she witnesses a flying demon attack, which is absolutely crazy. And so once she witnesses this Merlin tries to wipe her memories of it, but it only brings back memories of the day that her mother died. So then she's like, I have to investigate. And she discovers this group of people called the Legendborn Society, and that they follow the order of the 12 Knights of the Round Table as an Arthurian legend. And she's in for a lot more than she was really thinking she was going to be in for. Y'all, I have screamed about this series from the top of my lungs, from the top of like every building that I could about this book. This is a 4.5, only strictly for the fact that we have a lot of like world buildings kind of thrown at you and like big waves, and I understand why, but that does slightly ruin the mood a little bit, dampens the mood. I still love this nonetheless. I love me some black girl magic, okay? We love to see it. We love to see it. I need to read more stuff surrounded by black people. I feel like I don't do enough as a black person. I feel like I'm lacking there, but I do read a lot of diverse books. It's just not enough of black books, but that's not a problem for another day. This right here, masterpiece. Love to see it. I am absolutely terrified for the third book, Oathbound, which is literally right here behind me. I'm terrified for it, but it's time for me to get to it, so I've started rereading the series so I can get there. I reread Legendborn before I read Bloodmarked, and so I'm rereading Legendborn and Bloodmarked before I go into Oathbound, so I have all the clues connected in my head. So that's the reason for this read. 4.5. 4.5. Absolutely adore this. The next book that we have up is Lights Out by Navessa Allen. Now, this is actually, I think, my third time reading this in 2025. I read this back in like February as a ebook. It's either as an ebook, I think it was an ebook / audiobook, and then I ended up getting a physical copy. I don't remember. This is either my second or third time reading it, and I cannot for the life of me remember which one it is, but I digress. This is Lights Out by Navessa Allen. In this book, you are following trauma nurse Allie, who doesn't really need any more kinks added onto her list of kinks. But her one kink that she has is watching masked men on TikTok. Now, she does have this one masked man that she follows and is absolutely in love with. And she never would have thought that one wrong text could have gotten exactly what she wanted. While on the other hand, we are following Josh, who has always tried and kept his identity a secret for reasons unbeknownst to us. But he parades online as a smashed man. And so together, him and Allie live out their deepest, darkest fantasies together. There's a lot more to it than that, but I'm going to leave you with that because I feel like that's all you really need to know going into this. And y'all, I have the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition of this book, where it says, can you handle the ride? And it has like this nice little sprayed edges. And it has a bonus chapter, like a little special bonus chapter at the end of it. The bonus chapter. The bonus chapter. Yeah. No, I love this book. It's not a perfect 5-star for me. I'm pretty sure this is like a 4.5 for me. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a 4.5 for me. I really actually enjoy this. I do really need to get caught up, especially because we already have the title for the third book and we know the color scheme for the third book, and I have yet to read Caught Up. Yeah, I'm behind. This was a buddy reading my best friend. I was like, you should read this and I will read it with you. And so we did that, and I really enjoyed it. We have talked nonstop about this book together. We love it. We do plan on reading Buddy reading Caught Up together. She will get my standard edition copy while I read my special edition copy of it. Because I will be getting the special editions and the regular editions, just strictly for the fact that I want to annotate my regular editions and leave my special editions all pretty with their edges. So, Lights Out by Navessa Allen, 4.5. Really enjoyed. And then the last book that I read in the month of September ended up being Throttled by Lauren Asher. And this is also, I think I softened up this a couple years ago because I really wasn't in the mood for F1 racing. But in this book, you are following Noah and Maya. Noah is your F1 star. His dad was an F1 star racer, so he ended up getting into F1 himself. And so Noah's new teammate, is just so happens to be Maya's brother. Oh my goodness, Maya's brother. And so obviously these two should not be, doing any getting down and dirty and all that and the other. I really am giving a terrible synopsis of this book. Let's start over. In this book, you are following Maya as she joins her brother on his first year in the F1 racing game on this new team with this rival. She's going to try and figure out what she wants to do with her life. So she kind of tags along and decides she wants to create a YouTube channel surrounding F1 and being along on the F1 ride. And then you have Noah, who happens to be Maya's brother's teammate, and they were previously rivals after this big crash that Maya's brother caused. Obviously these two are on opposing teams or whatever you can say, I guess. But they end up falling in love. They have a love story. They end up getting down and dirty. They end up, bumping uglies. So, yeah, you get the gist. I actually really, really adore this book. I know that this is probably some people's least favorite in the series, but personally, I love this. It was cute. It made me giggle. It made me kick my feet. Noah Slade. He's a 10 because he goes to therapy to fix his problems so he can be with Maya the way that he wants to be with Maya, the way that she needs him. Yeah, no, I love this. 4 stars all around the board for me. It's not, like I said, it's not perfect, but I could definitely see myself rereading this and enjoying it even on a second read through, because let me tell you, Noah Slade is down bad. And when he realizes how down bad he is, he's all the way in. He's all the way in, baby. Yeah. So that's Throttled by Lauren Asher. Really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, Noah Slade does no wrong. I don't care. Moving on to the beginning of September, the month of September. We're now in the September wrap-up portion of this video. The first book that I read in the month of September ended up being This Woven Kingdom by Tahereh Mafi. Now this book, I was very, 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 very questionable about it in the very beginning. The first 100 or 150 pages, I was I'm bored. I feel like we're doing this back and forth thing that doesn't need to be needed, and it was dragged out. But once you get past all the back and forth and the repetition of everything, and you get into the actual nitty gritty of the story, yeah, phenomenal, okay? Not perfect, phenomenal, okay? So in this book, you are following Eliza, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's spelled Alizeh, I think. And she is a maid in this household, but she is also the heir to the Jinn throne, and she knows it, but she has gone into hiding because basically Jinn have been disgraced throughout the years, and no humans really like them anymore. She has to keep her powers on the down low, and so she became basically a maid / housekeeper in this household that she lives in, to try and keep her head down and keep the attention away from her. And then you have the Crown Prince Cameron. I know that's not how you pronounce it. I know it's not, but I can't say, I know it's not, but I can't say the way it's supposed to be pronounced. But you have Cameron, the Crown Prince, and he basically runs into her one day, and he's like, there's something off about you. I want to know what it is. And so he eventually he ends up kind of having this intrigue in her wanting to know everything about everything there is about her, and maybe ending up developing some feelings. Who knows? Who really knows? And so you were following them on this kind of like journey of this like back and forth of him wanting to know everything about her, but her not wanting to tell him anything because then it could mean destruction of the world for everybody. Yeah, there's this whole thing. I feel like that's the worst description I could give of the book, but that is the gist, kind of the gist of the book. Y'all, like I said, the first like 150 pages, I was not sold this book. Everybody's like, this is the best romantasy. It's the horror Mafie's best work. And I was like, what am I reading? Well, are we reading the same thing? Are we digesting the same thing? And then I got it. It hit for me, okay? It's just all like 4-star for me. I really, really enjoyed it. Like I said, it just took a bit to get into it. And I know people hate to say that, but like really, it's only really the first book. I feel like once I get to the second book, I'm going to be all in. And I'm going to rate it 5 stars. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it is something that I will be consuming soon because I do have it literally over there. My eyes are looking at the book because I already picked it up from the library like a week ago. So it will be getting read soon. The next book that I read in the month of September was Haunting Adeline by H.D. Carlton. Now, this was supposed to be in a video that you were supposed to see. It ended up not, because September ended up being a really chaotic month with the move into the new house and adjusting and everything. It just ended up being a really chaotic month where you didn't get as many videos as you were supposed to, so I'm sorry. This was in one, so was Disrobing Kingdom. That is my bad. But I digress. I did read this. I have thoughts. I sat on my rating for this for a very, 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 very long time, okay? In my heart, it's a 5, okay? In my little heart of mine, it's a 5. But in my head, up here, it's more like a 4.5, 4.25. It sits somewhere in there. I cannot believe how much I actually genuinely enjoyed this and ate it up. Like, I was sitting there reading like 50, 75, 100 pages at a time because I was so invested in whatever was going on in this book. When I wasn't reading this book, my mind was on this book. In this book, you are following Zaid and Addie. Addie has just moved into this house that she has inherited from her grandmother, who inherited it from her mother. And so now she is living in this house. And so one of her first nights at this house, she discovers the journals of her great-grandmother. So you have like two kind of plots going on. You have the plot of Addie finding her great-grandmother's journals, which leads to her trying to solve the murder of her great-grandmother. But then you also have the fact of her great-grandmother had a stalker. Addie ends up having a stalker. I probably shouldn't have told you his name, although I feel like this book has been so around you already knew his name, but you don't find out his name till much later in the book. But Zaid ends up being her stalker. She's an author, and she's out at an author event for her, and he sees her, and he's immediately like, she's mine, I'm in love with her, I will make her mine at whatever it takes. Please, I am cautioning you right here, right now. I'm looking at you, looking at me. Look up your trigger warnings for this book. This book will not be for everyone. It was for me. As a person with their own like traumas that's hit in a spot that I did not know it needed to hit in. I also was a Wattpad girly growing up, so this just perfection. Okay, perfection. Haunting Adeline, I love it. I am currently reading Haunting Adeline, and I already know it's going to be a 5-star. That one is much darker. We'll get into that in my October wrap up. But I really, really enjoyed this. Like I said, just look up your trigger warnings before going into this because this is a very dark book. Next up, the book I read next in September was The Wicked King by Holly Black. This is the second book in the Cruel Prince trilogy. And you already know how I feel about this. 5 stars. 5 stars. This one picks up, I think, a couple months after the ending of book 2. I absolutely love this. I know some people don't. Me personally, I can never decide whether this one or the third one is my favorite book in the series, or even the first one. I can never decide which one's my favorite, but I do know that I love them all. So I can't say much about this one. Like I said, it is the second book in the series, but it does pick up a couple months after the first one. And let me tell you, the tension. There is a certain chapter in this book that pertains to Cardan's tale. Did not know I was interested in that until I read this book like 2-3 years ago at the ripe age of 18. You discover things about yourself when you read fantasy books, okay? And discovering tales exist in the fairy world was not something I was expecting to enjoy, but I sure do. I don't know what to say. Like I said, 5 stars. Absolutely love this series. I think at one point I want to do like a full breakdown, full reading vlog of me ranting on this series. It's just, I don't know when I would do that. So let me know if you would want that, because I kind of want to do it. But it's me, so of course I do. But I did read this, really, really enjoyed it. Do plan on getting to book 3 in the month of October and finishing that up so I can get to the next one following Oak. The next book that I read in the month of September was The Naturals by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is a reread for me. I'm just now ready to finish the series out and get it done and over with. Not in like a bad way. I'm just ready to see how this series ends. But in this book, people advertise this book as YA Criminal Minds, and that's pretty much what it is, because you are following these group of teenagers. You have Cassie, Dean, Michael, Sloane, and Leah, and they are basically called the Naturals because they have these natural abilities that cannot be taught to them. And so Cassie and Dean are natural profilers. Michael can read you based off of your facial expression / body language. Leah is a human lie detector, and then Sloane is really good with statistics. But in this, you're following 17-year-old Cassie Hobbs, and she's a natural at reading people. She can piece together the tiniest details and tell you probably everything there is to know about you. But it's not a teachable skill. So when the FBI comes knocking, she's like, whoa. And they ask her to be a part of this classified program where they have these kids, gifted kids, solve cold cases. But there's a lot more at risk than a few cold cases, and that was something Cassie was not prepared for. Y'all, I absolutely eat this up every time I fucking read it. If there's one thing Jennifer Lynn Barnes is good at, it's short chapters. Let me tell you, these chapters, chapter 28 starts on page 210. Chapter 16, chapter 29 is on 216. Like, you fly through these, okay? I love the way Jennifer Lynn Barnes writes. Now, there is a love triangle in this. I do have a team I'm on, Team Dean, all the way. If she does not end up with Dean, I will be having a talk with Jennifer Lynn Barnes herself, but I digress. It's a 4-star for me. I really, really enjoy it. You can tell it's the first book in the series, but I really enjoy it nonetheless, and I cannot wait to read Killer Instinct, because I love that book, and the way things kind of shift in that book with like Dean and Michael and Cassie. Yeah, no, give me more. I just need to finish the series. What am I waiting on? Who am I waiting on? No one but myself. And then the next book that I read in the month of September was Satan's Affair by H.D. Carlton. This is technically a prequel novella to Haunting Adeline, but I decided to read it in between Haunting Adeline and Hunting Adeline, strictly for the fact that you meet the main character of this in Haunting Adeline, so I was like, why not just read it in between? But in this one, you are following Sibby, and she is, how do I even describe this book? Oh, wow, I can't even describe this book. I'm gonna read you the synopsis that's on Goodreads, because I don't even know how to describe this to you. So, In this book, every Halloween, Satan's affair will come to you. We travel the country offering terrifying haunted houses, thrilling rides, and the tastiest food. And with every passing town, I cleanse this world one execution at a time. I hide within the walls, casting my judgment for those that reek of evil, singing lullabies to their rotting souls. Once you've been chosen, there's no escaping my henchmen. They cater to my every desire. You can run and you can hide, but it only excites me. Come, take a walk through my dollhouse, where your screams will blend and your cute little pleas will go unanswered. But I can't promise it'll be over quickly. Yeah, no, I did not know what I was getting myself into going into this, but the plot twist in this, so yes, it is a wide choose, but I guess it is also kind of like a thriller because of the little twist that we have in this book. I can't tell you, it is a spoiler, although this book is very, very short and it happens very, very fast. This is a very traumatized woman. I can say that for sure. And she definitely needs help. I can say that for sure. I need more. That's my problem with this one. I rated it a 3.25. That's my problem with this one is I need more. I feel like I got a lot, but I also feel like I got nothing. And I know H.D. Carlton confirmed earlier this year that she is going to write a story about Sibby and that she's going to write more books in this world with Addie and Zayd and Dahlia and all of this. And I know that there's a book called Phantom Release, which is about Gigi, which is Addie's great-grandma. I know, but I just feel like if I had more to go on right now, I could have rated this book higher. But since I did not, I just feel like I need, there's a lot that's missing, and I need something. So I ended up giving this a 3.25. I still did really, really, really end up enjoying this book. I cannot lie to you and say I did not. I did. And maybe that makes me mess up in the head somewhere, but I don't know. So we're gonna leave it there. The next book I read in the month of September is The Jasmine Throne by Tasha Shuri. In this book, you are following Princess Melina, who is been outcast from her kingdom because her brother wants her to burn. Okay, and so now she's been outcast and she is going to live in this very place that was tragically burned, where children were burned, to try and get her to burn. And so she is also out on revenge for him for doing everything he has done to her kingdom. While we were also following Priya, who is this maid of sorts at this house where Melina is going to, and she ends up getting into a position where she becomes the personal maid of Melina, and basically her and Melina team up to try and save the kingdom. That's literally like, I'm giving you absolutely nothing to go off of, but I also went into this book knowing absolutely nothing besides the fact that it was sapphic and it was fantasy. Yeah, so that's the best you're gonna get out of me, because this book, I feel like the less you know, the better you are enjoying this book. Because I thoroughly enjoyed this book. I gave it a 4.5. You have so much. The magic system, the different religions you follow throughout this book, your characters, the character depth, the relationships between characters, the plot line, the fantastical world, the atmospheric world, everything that Tasha Shuri put into this book, I was sold on it. Book 2 is a 5-star prediction and on my October TBR, so hopefully when you see my October wrap up, I have read that book, because I'm in. I'm sold. I'm in. Chapter 50. Chapter 69. Y'all, the ending of this book, specifically chapter 69 and the last couple times after that, need more. I want more. I need to know what is going to happen, okay? Point blank period. Point blank period. 4.5. 4.5. The sapphiccness. The yearning. If yearning was done this way in every romantic book, I think I'd be set for life. But it's not. It's not, and I need more of it. Period. That's it. Yeah, no. If you have not read this book, I definitely recommend it to you. I definitely do. Especially if you like sapphic yearning, atmospheric fantasy reads, characters with a lot of depth, character and plot driven stories at the same time, because there is a plot and each character has a way they want to move forward the plot. Okay, so it is character relationships that have they're multi-layered relationships. Read it. And the last book we have to talk about after this long video, I am at 32 minutes right now, but I have babbled and babbled, so I feel like I can cut this down about 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. So with that being said, we have Twisted Love by Ana Huang, which is the first book in the Twisted series. This is also a reread for me. I don't know, guys. But I read this because I plan on listening to the audiobooks for this. I have decided that audiobooks are the best way for me to consume romance books. Well, certain romance books, but probably most of my romance books. So with that being said, we have Twisted Love. This book, you are following Alex, and he is blessed. I'm trying to think of what it's called, but I can't. Anyways, you're following Alex Volkov. He is a very closed off person, not really close to very many people. And he has this tragedy that has been haunting him since childhood that he wants to get revenge for. But when he's really more so when he's forced to look after his best friend's sister, feelings arise that he's never felt before, and he starts to question everything. If it's all worth it or not for this one girl. But you also have Ava, who is literally a little free spirit, but trapped by a little nightmare she's had because of her also traumatic childhood. And when her friends set out to figure out, to try to get emotions evoked out of Alex, she starts to realize that there is more to him than she realized, and feelings develop, things ensue, and these two just so happen to, I love this book. It's not my favorite. Again, I could not tell you what is a 5-star romance book for me, because I don't think I have read one besides like Red Bottom Royal Blue, One Last Stop, and I'm trying to think of the name of that romance book, but I cannot for the life of me right now. It's another romance book, but those just like pop up off the top of my head. Oh, The Line of the Green Doesn't Care. So I don't know what my 5 stars look like, but this is just not it for me. Like, I like it. Oh, well, Twisted Games is a 5-star. Anyways, this is really good. I really, really enjoyed it. I just feel like there wasn't enough depth to each character. I feel like we just got surface level with them, and I need more. I needed more. I wanted more. I was yearning for more. But I still really, 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 really enjoyed this, and I love the relationship that Alex and Ava build throughout the 300 and whatever pages of this book, and the bond that they have together. Phenomenal. We love to see it. So, with that being said, that is all the books I read in August and September. It is 11 books, okay? I did not do too shabby. Hopefully we can keep this up until the month of October, and maybe in October I can read 11 books in total for the whole month. We will see what happens. But with that being said, that's the end of this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed hearing me ramble. I'm probably going to edit this on Thursday. I'm going to edit and upload this and the thumbnail on Thursday. So we got work cut out for us. But with that being said, I hope you have a great day, evening, night, morning, afternoon, and whatever part of the world you are having it in. I hope I sold you on one book out of this deck. I hope it's the Jasmine Throne because I'm obsessed. Not gonna lie, like I think that's my favorite between the 2 months, if I'm being honest. That and Haunting Adeline, but I know Haunting Adeline is not gonna be for everyone, so I'm not like gonna push that one on you. But yeah, that's in this video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm really close to 70 subscribers. I don't know if I've hit it yet. I haven't checked, but last time I checked, I was at 69. So, just... Also, if you're liking the new intro, let me know because that's also pretty new here. But that's it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed. And I will see you guys in my next one. Good.